Shavua Tov Kal Kadosh, Mishna Yomi, Masechet Bava Kamna, Perek Bet is the second chapter, Mishna Aleph and Bet, Mishna 1 and 2. We were continuing with what we were speaking about in the previous Perek, when there were things which was muad, we listed different categories, and we said that there was going to be times that an animal is a muad immediately. And now we're going to speak about these cases. We're going to start with the regel. Ketzad the regel muadet. When is a regel going to be muad? So it's l'shaber b'derech hilucha, when it's going to break things when in the course of walking. So when it walks, it's going to be breaking things. That is called regel, and it's muad. Habema muadet lalech kederka u'shaber. So an animal is a muad to walk in the normal way, and it breaks things. And therefore, in such a case, right, it's going to be considered a muad. In all these situations, the owner must pay full damages. The second case is going to be where it does damaging with its feet, but it only has to pay half of it. So number one is going to be haytam vayetet, if it was kicking with an intent to damage, or pebbles were flying out and then it broke something. So in this case, it pays only half of it, which means that it only pays half of the damages, just like keren. The first 3 times that an animal does keren, if you remember, which is basically goring, it only pays chetzi nezek, but it's still considered a tam. So the same thing here in this situation, he only has to pay half the damages, okay, because of the pebbles which are coming out. Now, here in the footnote, if you pay attention, this is based upon the Gemara. Remember that by a human being, there's no difference between your force or something that comes from you, which means a person cannot come and say, listen, I shot something and now it came from my force, so now I'm exempt. No, if you shot a bullet or you shot something, even though that comes from you, you are obligated for anything that comes from you or your strength. By an animal, it's halakha Moshe Sinai, that if the animal shoots something out with its leg and now there's pebbles which are coming out, which are called srodot, it's halakha Moshe Sinai that he's going to be chayav, but it's only going to be chetzi nezek, and therefore he's only going to have to pay for half of the damages. So we'll give an example now. If it steps on a vessel and it breaks it, now nafal lekli bro, and a piece of the vessel comes out and broke, and now fell on another vessel and breaks. So on the Rishon, the first one, he's going to have to pay nezek shalem, full damages. Al acharon, on the second one, he's going to pay chetzi nezek, only half damages. Since the animal damaged the second one not with its body but with something which is again the force, so it's only half of it. If it was right, and the same thing which we're going to be explaining now. The chickens, so these roosters, they're muadim to walk in their normal way and break vessels. If it has an object tied to its legs, or it's hopping on its feet, right? And then and it's breaking the utensils, it's going to pay chetzi nezek. So again, if it's going to be attached to it and it damages with it, so then that's going to be chayav. But since again it's like the pebbles which are coming out, so it's going to be only paying half of the damages. Mishna Bet. Ketzad Hashen muadet. How is a shen muadet now? We spoke about the horns. We spoke about the shen, and we spoke about the regel. Now we're talking about the shen, the eating. So it says lecholat ra'uila. So to eat something which is fitting for it. So be'ema muadet lechol perov yirakot. So an animal will usually eat fruits and vegetables. But if it eats clothing or utensils, it only pays chetzi nezek. Why? For the first 3 times, because it's not normal. Again, everything which is not normal, so you only pay chetzi nezek. But one of these words, bishuta nizak, in the property of the nizak. But if it's going to be bishuta rabim in a public place, it's going to be patur. He's going to be exempt from payment. What does that mean? One does not have to pay for regel or shen unless the damage was done in the property of the victim. Okay, but if it's going to be in the public domain, he's going to be exempt. And that's what it says over here, that it's, he's eating suitable food, fruits, vegetables, right? Again, if it's not, then nothing. Now he says, Ketzad. So what's the case exactly? Then it says, nevertheless, even if you're going to tell me that it was in a public place, he still has to pay whatever you benefited from it, which means, let's say I would have spent $5 on the meal for this roosters or for whatever it is, for this ox, and now I save those $5, so that's what I have to pay. I don't have to pay according to the damage. That means if he ate a steak, I don't have to pay for the steak. I have to pay for that which he benefited, and now I don't have to pay for this food. Okay, so that's the common rule which is brought down here. Ketzad meshalem ma shenenet. How does it pay that which it benefited? Achla mitoch harechava mashalem shenenet. If it ate from the middle of the street, so therefore you only have to pay that which it benefited, was it's in a public domain. But if it was on the private parts of the, which means on the sides of the street, which is mitzidei rechava, so you have to pay that which it damaged, right? Why? Because since he has no right to be there, basically, he had a right to put it at the side of the street where animals do not usually go. So therefore, it's ki'ilu, it's going into the victim's property, and therefore he's going to be obligated to pay. The same lacha would apply for the entrance of the store. So again, the animals on the owner, he only has to pay that which he benefited because it's a public place. But if it's from inside of the store, then again, Mishalem Zika, he has to pay that which it damages. And with this, we finish the first two Mishnayot of Perek Bet. Have a wonderful day.